What's up, everyone? It's Rich. Alright, so, I am reviewing The Mummy. So, as you guys can already tell, I'm not excited about this movie. Here's the thing. I was actually very excited for this whole franchise to take off, for the Mummy franchise to take off again, for the Wolfman to come back on the silver screen, for the Creature in the Black Lagoon, for Dracula, for frickin' the Bride of Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, and probably even Van Helsing. You know, he's part of that universe and stuff. Yeah, nope. Nope. Alright, let's just get to it. Let's just freaking get to it. Okay, so, I was very disappointed. I was very, very disappointed about this movie. So, directed by Alex Kurtzman, stars the freaking brilliant Tom Cruise and amazing Russell Crowe, Sophia Buttella's in this, Annabelle Wallis, Jake Johnson, and a pretty solid cast. Mind you, and yep, nope, did not happen at all. So basically, The Mummy is about Tom Cruise's character Nick Morton and his basically sidekick. It's not some sidekick, but it's, his partner, Jake Johnson's character, Veal. What's his name? Chris Veal, and they're, in a lack of a better word, they're thieves, but they're basically kind of like part of a unit. They go to Iraq, and they're looking for this treasure. Basically, they obviously find the tomb. You see in the trailers, they find the tomb, and then from there, basically they reawoken Amunet, which is played by Sophia Boutella, who she did pretty good in this movie. If anything, she was probably the best part of this movie. Her as the mummy, just having a mummy on screen that's a woman is very it's pretty powerful actually, but that's not really saying too much because this movie is just very disappointing. So yeah, basically that's the story. They find the tomb. Basically Tom Cruise's character Nick basically awakens the mummy. And shit goes haywire after that. Pretty much like any other movie. But here's the thing, I feel like this movie wanted to take off, but it never did. For a freaking action-adventure movie, it's quite boring. And for this movie, at best, it was mildly entertaining. It's one of those things where, and here's the thing too, man, I can't get the fact over that this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. The tone is just everywhere. There's certain scenes that was just like playing out. They're trying to be scary, even though they kind of failed at that. And sometimes there's scenes that they're trying to be funny, and they actually kind of fail at that also. Don't get me wrong, there's a few chuckles here and there, but it was basically kind of pity chuckles. You're just like, that is kind of funny, but not really. And here's the thing too, what's even worse is that they're trying to build this whole universe, right? This whole franchise, and it's right there, smack in the freaking middle, beginning of the movie, after they do all the logos. And this is actually the second logo that comes up. It says Dark Universe. Freaking the Dark Universe that they announced, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, or maybe even last week, to be honest with you. I think it was 2 weeks ago, but anyways, I digress. Universal announced this whole Dark Universe thing. And basically, they're trying to start up their whole their dark universe. With Dracula, the Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, freaking Creature in the Black Lagoon. In this case, the Mummy, Invisible Man, and all of that, all the classic horror monsters that's part of Universal's, characters, right? They're trying to start all of that. They're trying to bring all these classic horror back into the modern day. Or in this case, in on screen. And this movie, and being The Mummy as the first one, it doesn't do a great job at it. Again, at best, it was mildly entertaining. It was somewhat boring for an action adventure movie, and I even mentioned it to my buddies who I watched it with. I think they should have went full horror in this case, because if you really think about it, Dracula, horror, Wolfman can be done as a horror. All these characters can be done as a horror movie. Not so much in a horror and be like, oh my god, it's freaking scary, but have that tone to it. This movie didn't have that. The tone was all over the place. There again, like I said, there are certain cases where it tried to be like a horror movie, failed at that. Tried to be a comedic movie, failed at that. And what's even worse is that this is an action adventure romp of a movie. It wasn't even fun. It wasn't fun. I went with some awesome friends of mine and my buddy Tommy, who I do a podcast with, by the way. Just throwing it out there. Just Talk Podcast. Here we go. I'll put a link right here. His sister and her husband said it best. And what they said is that they went on this movie having low expectations. And I think that's what set them up for actually enjoying this movie for what it is, right? And there's certainly movies like that. Like frickin' a movie that came out early this year, frickin' The Great Wall with Matt Damon. Remember that? That's one of those movies where you already know what you were getting. But I guess for me, I'm not saying I had high expectations, but my expectations were quite up there. And that's because the fact that they're announcing all these actors and actresses part of this universe, and it seemed like they have a plan that was gonna pan out. There's something bold about that, saying, oh, we got Tom Cruise, we got Russell Crowe, we got Johnny Depp, Sofia Boutella, Javier Bardem, and then The Rock is rumored as the Wolfman, Angelina Jolie is rumored as the freaking Bride of Frankenstein. You're not gonna go announce all those people, except the last two I mentioned. Those are just rumors right now. But you're not gonna go announce that in the public and also have a freaking logo, Dark Universe. You're not gonna go all out with that if you don't have a solid plan. Clearly, they do have a solid plan, but I honestly feel like that plan is they're gonna have to rechange it. They're gonna have to shift this plan, because I told my buddies, I was like, yeah, I don't think this movie's gonna make any money. And here's the thing, I internationally it might make some, but domestically I think it's gonna bomb. Which sucks, because oh my god, and here's the kicker too. Another good friend of mine, Brian, I think he's the one who's gonna be most disappointed in this, just because he's my horror dude. So another shout out to him. Go follow him. His channel's Awkward Arsic. I mean, he's great at what he does over there. If you want vlogs and freaking horror theme parks, he's the dude. He's the man. Go subscribe to him. He's right here. Anyways, so I it's one of those things where like I feel sorry for the dude, just because look, that was your bread and butter right there, and it just didn't take off. I felt like this movie was just on the runway the whole time. In some ways, this runway, it felt like it's so long, like in the Fast and the Furious 6, where the plane just kept on going. That's what this movie is. It was a plane. They were in the plane with a sarcophagus in it, and it just kept going. It never took off. It just never took off. It's just there. It's just like, And at that point, I'm just like, fuck, where's Ethan Hawke? Maybe he should save this. Maybe he should hang out of the plane and be like, hey, come on! And have his, Nick Frost and everyone else there with this Mission Impossible. Yeah, no, this movie's just definitely some cheesy lines. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think they have a lot of cool ideas in this movie, in this franchise they're trying to build. I just don't think they executed it very well. The story at most was subpar. The acting, again, if there's one thing here, Sofia Boutella did an awesome job as the Mummy. Some of the lines that she was given was kind of cringeworthy, was just like, some of these things were kind of cheesy, but at the same time, it's just like, maybe tighter on the dialogue aspect of that, and the action didn't have a pizzazz to it, a pop to it. Again, for an action adventure movie, it wasn't fun. For a comedy movie, it wasn't really funny, and for a horror movie, at best, it was not even jump scare worthy. Like I said, the tone was all over the place. It was trying to be, well, it wasn't trying to be anything. It was trying to figure out what it wanted to be. just never figured it out. And my buddy's sister said it best. We're like, this is a movie where it feels like it's out of its element in a way, in a sense of like this movie. It's not from modern day. It felt like a movie that was supposed to be made 10 years ago. Yes, the characters are your classic horror characters, but I think they should have stuck with the horror route. You know, I think they should have made the tone a lot more grittier and darker, and I think it would have worked out if they went that way. But hey, look, it's one of those things where like they went that route, and I felt like they didn't succeed at all. It just sucks, and it's just very disappointing. The last time I've been disappointed like this was a very near and dear to my heart as a gamer was Assassin's Creed, and I'm getting the same exact feeling with this movie, except I'm not as invested in this franchise as I was in Assassin's Creed, so Assassin's Creed was even worse for me, but this is pretty much the same thing, man. I'm just like, it sucks. It sucks. Look, I can keep going about how, I can keep ranting and going about how disappointed I am with this movie, but I'm gonna stop. Look, if you want to watch the movie, go for it. I've always said you can watch it full price, you can watch it matinee, or you can just watch it when it comes out on DVD. For me personally, if you're curious, go watch it matinee. But for me personally, I say skip it. Just wait for it. It's forgettable. A friend, again, Tommy said that. One of my friends who I went with, it's forgettable movie. It really is. And with that said, it's I don't like talking about like negative things. I'm not. It's just one of those things where like, if you've seen most of my reviews, for the most part, it's either they're okay movies or they're good movies, or I thought they were good movies, or on top of that, the other spectrum, they're like, oh, that's great. I like positivity. I like being optimist. I'm an optimist and stuff. I'm a hopeful dude, but at the same time, I don't like shitting on things because I want these things to be good, especially in this case, a Dark Universe. I want a freaking Dracula movie. I want an Invisible Man movie. I want a Wolfman movie. I want all of that stuff. But in this case, I'm not even sure if we're going to get all that anymore. And with that said, basically is that I'm just very disappointed about this movie. It's a meh. It's not even okay. It's meh. It's mediocre at best. You know, mildly entertaining. Not scary at all. Somewhat boring and not fun. And with that said, as far as the rating goes, there's a part of me that wants to give this a 5.5, but I can't even do that. I'll just be lying to myself. And so I'm giving this movie a 5 frickin', I don't even know. I don't know, 5 Dagger of Lives out of 10. Yes, 5 out of 10, y'all. 5 Daggers of Lives out of 10. Dagger of Lives, yes, I just made that up. Why? Because I think that this Universal franchise needs some kind of life in it, and they probably need some kind of mystical dagger that's like dagger of life. If you stab myself, we'll come back to life. Because man, this movie is just, it needs some life to it. Because I feel like it's gonna be dead after this movie. And here's the kicker: I enjoyed the older Mummy movies better than this. I know. And that is it, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you like this review, please click that like button. And also, if you would do so kindly, subscribe to the channel if you want more reviews from me, reactions, rants, and even just unboxings and all the other good stuff on this channel. Please subscribe. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much. It sucks. I know for the most part I'm more upbeat and stuff, but this movie just kind of took the frickin' soul out of me. In this case, if I was a mummy, they roast me back from the dead just to be like, oh, this sucks, put me back in it. Wrap me again and just put me in a sarcophagus. Don't ever freaking wake me up anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much this movie here. And once again, thank you guys for watching. I am Rich, and I am out. And remember, stay awesome, my friends.